video, we're going to be creating a basic car racing game using Scratch coding. So first, let's go to www.scratch.mit.edu and let's click on enter. Here, let's click on the create button. So let's delete the Scratch cats. And so I'm going to upload a sprite of a car. And now that's here. So now inside the costumes, we want it to be blank because let's convert this to bitmap and color this black, you'd see a white outline here. And we don't want that. So what we're going to do is also delete the outline. Let me change this back to white background and convert it back to vector and delete that. Okay. Now to do that, let's go inside costumes of the car and paint. Let's fill it up and click on this none. So this fills it up with a transparent color. So now everything is going to be gone. I'm going to color inside the car. And now you can see the car doesn't have the white cardboard around it. Now after this, let's make the basic setup. We're going to make a my block and call it setup. Remember to click on run without screen refresh so that it doesn't take long loading up. Now let's put that setup down here. For the setup, we want its size to be 40. Let's put it in. Let's not test it yet. And since it's facing left, we want to point the direction 0. So it's be facing up. Now after this, we want a spot for it to go, but first we have to click on green flag. And now we see how it works. Well, now it's facing down, and that's because it was facing the opposite way. So to make it work, let's go to 180, click go, and it's going to be facing the up direction. We want our card to start from here, or let's say 0, 0, because that's the center of the screen. Let's put it here at the first beginning. To do that, let's make a forever loop by bringing it out, returning event, and bringing the rank flag click, and going back to the my blocks and creating another my block called move. Then remember to click on run without screen refresh and then click on OK. Now let's put the move block in here, and after that, let's arrange all our code up. So put the define setup here and this move. Now let's add these other blocks too. Let's move this here because this might take up some space when we're adding the code. Let's add an if then. And now inside here, let's add an else around the 2. Let's add or. And point in direction 0. Now, let's go to the sensing and bring key space. So this is how we're going to control it. The first one wants to click on left. So click on left there and right on the other. Now, since our car was facing left, which is in mine, if yours is facing right, then on the 180, you just make it to 0 to face up. But if yours is facing left like mine, then you have to do it like my own code. Now to do it here, let's bring out the change X. So this is going to consider the movements. One would be 5 and one would be -5. Now for it to work is the direction. Let's have 45 and let's have -45. So if left we want it to be in 45, but change x by -5 because it was facing left. Then for the right one, we put pointed direction -45 and change x by 5. Let's click on go. So let's put 180 to make it go face up. And now for us to make a move, let's add some key space in the top or. These will be left or right. Now let's do this. Since everything is opposite now, so this one will have to be 135 to go left, and this one will have to be -135 to go right. Now we have our code in position. If we click go, it goes to the center. Now let's add our backdrop, which we're going to draw. We're going to first of all draw a gray. So it's going to be a brightness of 12, and let's pull it down across here. Let's stretch it across a bit more. And now let's move it left. And now that is better. Now to make the white lines, let's set the brightness to 100. Put that over there. Let's copy paste. Now let's move it right, and now those two can do. Let's copy and paste those two to make it more easier for us. Now if we do this, everything is aligned. So let's group. Let's copy paste this. So now let's be one. Let's put one here. And first one will be here. The second one would be here. Let's leave that one there, and now our curve stay between the white lines. And so there should be at least 1 or 2 roads free for the car to pass through. Now we're done with the road, let's add the grass. And the grass is just going to be pure green. You can make it any shade of green you want. So we'll just put it across the whole screen. It doesn't matter if it blocks up the whole screen. We'll just click on the back button while we're still selecting the green grass. And then goes to the complete back of every other thing. Now we have a simple road and grass. But our obstacles are going to be on the road, and our car can go off the road into the grass. To fix that, let's make a space block so this will show how many space the block has. Since everything's getting a bit crowded up in here and we want to see everything, we're going to arrange a bit of the code. Let's add these two ifs. And now instead of the or, we're going to add our ands over here. Let's add a greater one of the ands and the less in the other one. Now bring out these two x position. So now we put those x position in here, and it's touching the color black. So that's the reason why I wouldn't use it for a road, because we're going to be using it for the space and for the car. Now let's change this 50 to 0 so it doesn't glitch up. No, but there isn't any black. Now we need effects. So for the effects, we have these 5s. So right here, it says our x position is 130, which is greater than 0, so we want it to shift back, which means we'll use -5. And the less than 0 means this one is for that one. Now for our code to work, Let's add a 10 pixel line, holding the shift and then bring it down on the edges of the road. This will indicate that our road has banners and now let's make our code work in the F1 car. In the space, let's have a ring reflect, click, and a forever loop. Then in here, let's have my block and bring out the space block and let's click on that. Now it should activate and you'd see that our curve doesn't go out of the space. Let's make it do something when it touches the edge. Since mine is facing left, I'm going to bring out the point in direction 90 and set it to 180. Like I said before, if yours is facing right, then make it up to 0. Now you see, when our curve touches the edge, it stops touching the edge instead and then just staying on the edge because that's the limit of space it can go, so it doesn't go through the walls. So it can go all the way to this edge and through the white lines and all the way to the other edge. Now the next we're going to add are the obstacles. The obstacles are going to be another car. This is our normal car and this is the obstacle. So let's call that obstacle. And there we're going to remove all these code because we don't need them here. We're going to keep the obstacle up here. We're going to be 3 modes. So let's minimize and set it to vector. Because in bitmap, it has a limit of space, which is on these edges. But on the vector mode, you can put it trying to still show. So let's duplicate this and duplicate it once more. And first on, let's take this, copy and paste. Put it here. You see it still shows. And now our car is here. So that's going to be the lane 1. On this lane, let's paste here. And put it on the other side. Better. And then the last one. But this isn't going to be our last one. We're going to have more lanes because we don't want it to always be in the middle. And we can make it go to the left. This one just stay in the center. And this one, this is just like this one. I'm going to move it down instead. And now we have 5 modes for our cars. And in this road, there's 1 road free. This road is free. This one, these two are free. Same here, these 2 here are free, and these 2 are free. So this is going to be our mode. Let's make this. I want it to be readable for us, so let's say double up. But since it's facing right here, we say double right, which means double to the right. And this one is going to left, so we'll say double left. This one is single middle. This one is single right. Add these underscores to make it look better. And now for the last one, which says single left. And then we're done for the obstacles. Obstacle would also have its own setup, which is the same as the F1 car's own, but it's not going to do the same outputs. So let's bring this one, going to click till it starts. But the setup is forever, because that is going to keep on going in a loop. For the setup, I'm going to at least point in direction 180, since ours is facing left. Well, that is if we want our car to go up. If this car is going to go down, we'll make it 0. So now it's facing down. Now we want it to start at this position. Stop, let's make it face this way just once. And now let's put it up here. Now we're going to be running the repeats loop in here. Let's say 70. Let's change y by -5. And we want it to wait 0.3 seconds. If we run that, once your car is moving a bit fast, a bit slow. If we say 0.1, then and that's a more better change. Let's add that in here for repeat 70 times, which means if we click go, so it's going to keep on going there. So let's bring it back to the start. Well, that is if we want our car to go up. If this car is going to go down, we'll make it 0. So now it's facing down. Now we want it to start at this position. Stop, let's make it face this way just once. And now let's do this. Click go. There's 2 here. There's 1 there. So this is how it works. But we want it to show in there so they don't see the effect as it's working. So it hides when it goes back here, and we want it to also change color because they're both red, and the user might think he is the obstacle instead of this car. And they'll have an idea when we add the lights later on why they're going down. So to make that work, we'll bring out the set color. So this changes the color of it, but it will change the since we're on the obstacle. So it's 100, and now it changes it cyan. Let's add that in there. As you can see, our car is basically moving from there. So, Congo, they both start from there because that's where it says. On this double right and double left is in. Double right is meant to be so. Put these two in. So that's double right. So double left. This is single middle. This is right. So since it is going that way, let's fix it. Since it isn't going to the right, we're going to make something to make it go there. So we're going to draw a basic purple line. We're not going to add this part of the game. We're going to make this go in front and make this as long as possible. Now we're going to group these two and shift the car in. You'll see that the purple stick controls the car, makes it go as deep as possible as we want. That's there. Let's ungroup it and now leave it low and click. And then we'll delete the green line and then it's in its position. And then the left one, of course, the middle is in the left. So it's easier to do that. So just rename the middle to the left and the left to the middle. Obviously double right, that means 2 double cars on the right, which is correct. Double left, 2 double cars on the left. Single left. 1 car on the left. Or a single car on the left. And single right, single car on the right. Now you see how it works. Let's add this back in. So this is how the car moves. Let's make the car hits the edge and see if it would pop out. It doesn't, and then it stays in that lane except for when it moves left. Since it's really glitching out and it's really slow, let's make it green to make it a bit slower. And now we're going to choose a sprite in Scratch. I'm going to search in all of its hearts, and now let's pick the hearts. And the heart's red and the heart's purple. Let's delete the purple heart and leave the red hearts. But its outline is going to be black, which I know is the same as the railings, which is why we always make it to a different kind of black, 15 type black. So it's also not the same as the road. As you can see, with a bit of difference. Let's equal it out. So this one, let's copy and paste. Now there's two. And let's paste again. And put it on the left. And then there are three. Now let's group it all and let's change it to a readable. So C3. Let's put them in the center. Now to make it better, we're going to duplicate this colors by doing the blank, which makes it disappear, which means 2. Let's get it again. 1. Let's say 1 here, even though it says 4. And then 0. Now that we have from 3 to 0, we're ready to work on the heart's own code. So as we all know in games, they all have setup. So this heart is also going to have the setup. Let's click around that screen refresh. To check it out, let's edit the block. And it also has run that screen refresh. Just checking to make sure everyone has it. Let's add it here. So has, and when I click on this block, it also activates it itself. Now let's go back to the heart and bring the setup block under here. Now let's set the size to 50. Okay. But it's really showing. It's real hard to see, so let's say 20, which is really small, but it still shows, and that's a perfect size. Let's switch the cursor to 3 so it's easier to pick up. I'm gonna leave it up here, even though on the side. And now let's make a variable called lives. Let's click OK. Let's click it, and now let's bring it under the lives. So we'll see how many lives we have in number. And then a pictograph, and let's connect these two together. Put them up here. Now for river, we're going to make another one. Click around the scroll refresh and call this a loop. So let's click on OK here. And bring the loop in here. So now to define the loop, it shows how the heart keeps on going and working. So let's say if and if in here. So it's going to be in the F1 car. We're not going to use a block for this because it's going to be easy. So if it's touching an obstacle, because it won't be able to touch the edge. So if it's touching an obstacle, we want it to broadcast a new message, and we'll call it crash. So let's say crash with the car. And now when this car receives the crash, that's when it's going to have this. So it's going to be defined as the loop. So this is how the loop will work. The loop first needs to receive a message. Crash again. Click on OK. And now we're going to set crash to 1. So it's going to be like a binary code. Then set crash to 0 again. We'll wait 1 second. So like this, it's 1 and then it's back to 0. And after that, when the operators equal to 1. We don't want it to do immediately because it might do everything at once. And if so, the heart is going to check. So it's going to say it wants the life to go by 1. It's going to do next costume since here and earlier let's register here. And wait a second. Let's put this in front first. To be in case it's in 0. If it's equal to 0, and that's going to be the lives. Which is the reason why we have the lives over here. Because the lives are going to be set to 3 automatically by the setup. That's the lives. And then change the life by -1. Let's change this here to lives and -1. That's just going to be on here. But if the lives is equal to 0, this is where we're going to paint another one. This is going to be gray. This is basically the ending of the game. So like when you fill the game and then this comes up in the position of the game. Let's put that clear into the same marker and brightness of white. We'll take game over. Let's make it big. We don't want these scenes to be shown, so let's add the crash first because we don't need that to show. So we'll call that the ending, which means the ending of the game. Then we want to broadcast end. That's end here. And now this one's going to see when I receive the end. Let's zoom in on this one. This is just a bit of code. You can zoom in as big as this. When I receive end, we want to hide the variable lives. Which means it's going to show the variable lives on the setup so that it shows back again. I want to hide variable lives. Stop all so nothing's moving. But before it stops all, it's going to show. We just wanted to hide. And we lost a life. Let's crash into that curve there then. Since we touched it twice and we were still crashing into it, so it went up. We've basically just finished a basic car game using Scratch programming. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.